Many of you Bolsonaro supporters said that Brazil would become another Venezuela if Lula won the elections, but you were wrong. Argentina is the one becoming another Venezuela. Many states in Argentina, especially in the south of Argentina, are selling donkey meat. Why, Andrea Gonzalez? Because meat there is very expensive. Both beef and chicken in Argentina have become unaffordable for the vast majority of Argentinians there because they are so expensive. So what did they start doing? Because there, especially in that region, there are a lot of donkeys. It's a region with a lot of donkeys. So they are starting to slaughter and sell donkey meat, including the local health department. They've already said that this meat shouldn't be sold or consumed because it doesn't have all the preparation and care that beef or chicken, for example, have. With vaccines, with serious measures to prevent diseases. But even so, people are buying donkey meat to eat red meat there in Argentina. It's a very sad situation, folks, very sad. Argentinians are turning to donkey meat to get around the economic crisis. The economic crisis in Argentina has made consumers change their eating habits. With beef getting more and more expensive, part of the population started looking for cheaper alternatives. In this scenario, donkey meat is gaining ground in the market. This situation is very sad. So soon the one that's going to be worse off than Venezuela is Argentina, not Brazil. On the contrary, in Brazil, the unemployment rate is one of the lowest. It's one of the best in Brazil's history. Brazil's growth is real. Sadly, it's Javier Milei's government. Meanwhile, do you know what Javier Milei did? So it doesn't even go to the people. He made a deal with Donald Trump for American troops to be stationed there. It doesn't even reach the Argentine people. And he just traveled to Israel to lick Benjamin Netanyahu's boots for the genocide he committed and continues to commit in the Gaza Strip, killing children, women, and civilians who have nothing to do with terrorists, nothing to do with war. So he's there in Israel. And he also licked Donald Trump's boots, accepting American troops on his territory. And the people, Andrea Gonzalez, the people, they got Javier Milei's labor reform. 12 hours a day is the work shift. The boss can pay you with food and housing. It's 21st century slavery 2.0, officialized by the government of Argentina. Javier Milei will go down in history, just like Bolsonaro. Bolsonaro, didn't you all call Bolsonaro a legend? That's right. And Bolsonaro really did become a legend. He went down in history as the worst president of Brazil, as a president who managed to mock people who were dying. Bolsonaro. That's right. Bolsonaro went down in history as the first president of Brazil's democratic era who couldn't get reelected. Soon it will be Javier Milei. He will go down in history as the worst president of Argentina, and he won't be able to get reelected. Because of the terrible situation he is leaving the people of Argentina in. And he doesn't care at all. Meanwhile, he's sucking up to Benjamin Netanyahu, the genocidal one, sucking up to the fascist Donald Trump, letting American troops enter the country, and to hell with the people. Oh, thank God. We got out. Now the hard part is knowing. No, actually, I feel sorry for the donkey. I'm not going to lie to you. I feel sorry for the little donkey. It has nothing to do with the situation. And he's the one paying the price. What a person. Stairs? An important revelation here. Congressman Lindenberg Farias gave an interview on Globo News, and he made a very important revelation about Campos Neto. He said that Campos Neto, he personally, before BRB, the public bank of the federal district, from Ibanez Rocha there, and Paulo Henrique, former president of BRB. Paulo Henrique is already in jail. Former governor Ibanez Rocha is not yet. Put this up. Ibanez Rocha has to go to jail. Don't let me speak alone. Don't let me speak alone. Please, please. My father, Ibanez, has to go to jail. Well, Paulo Henrique, his ally, the one he chose to be the president of BRB, is already in jail, former president of BRB. So what did Lindenberg Faria, the federal deputy, say? He said the following, that before BRB bought more than 12 billion in worthless shares, which had no credit at all, they bought the stocks as if they were worth something, but they were worthless. It was all a fraud. Before BRB bought more than 12 billion reais from Banco Master with public money, Lindenberg Faria said that Campos Neto personally tried to sell Banco Master to another bank before BRB, and that those worthless shares brokered by the then president of the central bank, Campos Neto, ended up not being bought by another bank because the big operator who is from the credit guarantee fund came and said, look, let's put an end to this nonsense here. This is all rotten. It's all broken. This is fraud. This can't happen. And that's why it didn't happen. So what did they do? They ran and they went after the public bank, BRB, because then the other banks that raised this alert and said, no, they're private, they wouldn't get involved because BRB is a public bank. So it's public money. So when dealing with our private money, public money, there's the AGU, the TCU, and the central bank itself to organize everything. They're the ones who must handle it and decide what to do. Should we watch Lindenberg Farias' statement? This revelation is very serious. And Lindenberg Farias said that everyone knows about this. All the bank owners, all the major bank CEOs know that Campos Neto brokered this. And his attempt to sell Banco Master is extremely serious. Extremely serious. Let's see here what Lindenberg Farias has to say about this situation. Go ahead and like the live, leave your comment. It's very important. Grab the link to the live and share it, my dear. Let's see what Lindenberg has to say. Pay attention.
We can't let this kind of scam, this banditry prosper. I was going to share another revelation here. You know that in December 2024, during Roberto Campos Neto's last month, he tried to give Volcaro one last bit of protection. Volcaro, as I said, he just wanted to leave with his money. He knew everything that was going on there, the difficult situation. And Roberto Campos Neto calls a financial institution and asks it to buy Banco Master. A giveaway price, 0.011 real. This matter ended up with the Guarantee Fund. The Guarantee Fund is made up of 6 banks: Banco do Brasil, Caixa Econômica Federal, Santander, BTG, Itaú, and Bradesco. And this deal didn't go through because one bank, a representative of one bank said no. We can't let this kind of trickery, this kind of banditry prosper, even if we lose more money. So this operation was vetoed by the Guarantee Fund. I'm giving you some information. You can talk to everyone in the financial system and they'll tell you this is public knowledge. But that was the last protective gesture. Roberto Campos Neto tried to make the move. Then, after the craziness with BRB started, it was total desperation. We can't let this kind of scam, this banditry, prosper. I was going to share another revelation here. You know that in December 2024, in Roberto Campos Neto's final month in office, he tried to give one last bit of protection to the Volcado.
This revelation here is very serious. It's very serious and this needs to be investigated. Because Campos Neto, while he was still president of the central bank, he couldn't do that. Under no circumstances could he interfere and try to sell one bank to another bank. That's not the role of a central bank president, especially because that bank they were trying to sell was full of bad stocks. What are bad stocks, Andrea? They're not credit worthy. It looks like the stocks have value and real backing, but they don't. The stocks were actually debts that might or might not be paid. That's why it's called distressed debt. It's very high risk. You can even buy it, but you have to be aware of that situation. Obviously, you buy it for a much lower price. And that wasn't what was being offered. It was being presented as if they were stocks with liquidity, solid credit, and guaranteed funds. So besides the fact that you can't do that, there was also the issue of fraud because the stocks were bad. So this is very serious, everyone. This is serious and needs investigation. I still don't understand why Campos Neto seems to be kind of protected. He's kind of being protected. And I don't know why this situation is happening, why there's this protection for Campos Neto. Campos Neto, president of the central bank, appointed by Bolsonaro in 2019. Campos Neto. He was notified by the Credit Guarantee Fund that Banco Master was not paying into the insurance fund. That every bank, to operate in Brazil, it is mandatory for them to participate in a deposit insurance fund, the Credit Guarantee Fund, and every month the bank has to pay into it. What for, Andre? Because if something happens, some situation, and the bank goes bankrupt, you, the consumer, you, the bank's client, you will have the right to have your money returned to you up to the amount of 250,000. So every month the bank has to pay for this insurance. And the Credit Guarantee Fund warned, look, Banco Master is not paying. So they notified the central bank. The central bank is like a regulatory agency that oversees all these banking service activities. So you know how there's Anatel and Anil, which are regulatory agencies? Well, the central bank is a federal agency. Even though it has financial, administrative, technical, and budgetary autonomy, it is a public entity. It is an agency that provides this service. And the president of this agency was informed that Banco Master was not paying the guarantee fund. He was informed several times. And what did Campos Neto do? According to the congressman here, he tried to sell Banco Master, even though he was absolutely not allowed to do that. And we know very well Daniel Vorcaro is already in jail. This one here, who was the owner of Banco Master, his brother-in-law, Fabiano Zetelo, is also in jail. Fabiano Zetelo, in fact, was the biggest donor to Bolsonaro's 2022 election campaign. The Master Group wanted Bolsonaro to be reelected. He donated 3 million reais. The biggest donor to Bolsonaro's campaign was Fabiano Zetelo, who is in prison, who is Daniel Vorcaro's brother-in-law, who was the financial agent behind this whole situation. He is in prison. And now he was arrested at the end of last week. It was Paulo Henrique who was arrested. Paulo Henrique, who was the president of BRB. A trusted man appointed by Ibanez Rocha to lead BRB, who bought the worthless shares from Banco Master. He has just been arrested. The remaining question is, when will Ibanez Rocha be arrested? And now I can say, based on this revelation, confirmed as true by Congressman Lindenberg Farias, the question that remains is, when will Bolsonaro's trusted man, in this case Campos Neto, be arrested? This situation is very serious because it doesn't add up, you know? When it does, it's all in the same context. It's just like this here. Look, this here is a different setup. What setup is this, Andrea? This is Paulo Henrique, the president of BRB, who was arrested. He's a trusted ally of the former governor of the federal district, Ibanez Rocha, also a Bolsonaro supporter. Isn't he? And who bought Banco Master from Daniel Vorcato? And I put Flávio Bolsonaro below. Why? Because Flávio Bolsonaro's house, the house worth more than 6 million reais. In fact, they even say that the house wasn't that price, the price of the house. That the house would actually be worth 14 million, right? But anyway, they say the house was almost 6 million and that he got a loan made by Paulo Henrique, who is in jail. Paulo Henrique made a loan for Flávio Bolsonaro to buy a mansion there in Brasilia. It's all just a coincidence, right, guys? All just a coincidence. So on Flávio Bolsonaro's side, Paulo Henrique, who lent the money, is in jail. Fabiano Zettel, who under Daniel Vorcato's orders donated 3 million to Bolsonaro's campaign and 2 million to Tarcísio, is in jail. Now only Abanez Rocha is left. And Flavio himself, I'm not even going to talk about Claudio Castro here, right? Claudio Castro, governor of Rio de Janeiro, a Bolsonaro supporter who has already been disqualified, ineligible, is currently ineligible. I'm not even going to talk about his arrest because he also took public money from the public servants of the state of Rio de Janeiro, from the pension fund, and injected almost $1 billion into Banco Master. Bolsonarist Claudio Castro, disqualified, ineligible, and who will probably go to jail soon as well. Shall we watch a little video explaining a bit about these connections of Flávio Rachadinha? Let's watch it because I think it's important for us to see, remember, review, comment, and share.
This is Senator Flávio Bolsonaro. Did you know this could happen?
Senator Flávio Bolsonaro bought a mansion worth almost 6 million reais in an upscale neighborhood of Brasilia. The price of the house is almost 4 times the value of the assets he declared himself in the 2018 elections.
The federal police operation is a new phase of Operation Compliance Zero, and it has already been confirmed. Of the arrest of the former president of BRB, Paulo Henrique Costa.
But part of the value of the house, 3,100,000 reais, was financed by BRB Banco de Brasilia with interest of 3.7% per year. The standard financing rate is 4.85%.
It's a huge increase in assets for a family that has lived off politics their whole life. Flávio Bolsonaro's own chocolate shop, to justify the eagerness with which he bought and sold real estate, would have to be like Willy Wonka's factory from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It wasn't plausible that that could justify so much success in the real estate market. You buy for so little and sell for so much later on. There was also this variation in assets when they declared them when buying and then how much they appreciated in value.
How do you buy a house and launder money? By getting a bank loan.
This is Senator Flávio Bolsonaro, and I already knew this could happen.
Yeah, that's how it is. Where is it, guys? These are very dangerous ties, right? From Flávio Bolsonaro. So I don't know if, in fact, they're really dangerous ties or actually criminal ties. What do you think? I want to know what you think. Here, look. I don't know. You can see it here. You can see a little bit. Wait, like this. Look here. Look. Here, look. There are several things here. Look. But maybe it's because the light gets in the way, right, guys? The light is tricky. Several posts and stuff. Look here, this one. Look here, you join the WhatsApp group, okay? On the WhatsApp channel, on my WhatsApp channel here, look, Resistance channel, join here and join the group. Why? There are a lot of people who aren't able to access my live streams. Many because they're not being notified, others because they just can't access it. So here, if you join the group, whenever there's a new live stream, I post the link there so you can watch the live stream live. And there are people who sometimes want to share the live stream and also can't find where to share it. Here, I post the link for you. For example, I put it here. Look, before this live stream, I put it here. Look here. Look that the live stream was about to start. Turn it a little like this. The live stream was about to start. See, just click here and share it with anyone you want. It'll be easier. And here I also make other posts, other shorter videos, right? Because YouTube, you know, YouTube is a social platform, right? A social network where the cool thing is more explanatory videos, longer videos, right? Here I already post shorter videos, clips, shorter videos. I post everything here. Here, look, you join the WhatsApp group, which is the Andre Gonçalves channel, the Resistance channel, where whenever there's something new, I post it there first. All right? So it's really important for you to be here with us. Do you have any comments, any questions? Let me see you here. At least say hi to me. How is your holiday going? How are things? It's just that there are a lot of people present. Don't forget to like the live stream. Don't forget to comment on the live stream afterwards, okay? And if you can, let's share the live stream. It's really important for us to be together. And I really want you to be there. Edson, thank you. Andrea Gonçalves, Trump is going to collapse in front of the cameras. He is very sick. In the meantime, he will do terrible things. Yes, Maria. Maria. Andrea Gonçalves, do you agree that the most important thing for them is to elect a majority in parliament to carry out the coup? I don't doubt that possibility either. But what they really want, truly and honestly, is to win the presidency, right, everyone? Now, obviously, they're working to secure a majority in the National Congress, both in the Senate and in the Chamber of Deputies, especially in the Senate. They're going to try to get a majority of senators, mainly for the issue of impeaching Supreme Federal Court justices. And obviously, underlying this whole situation is the coup mentality, right? They want to attack the institutions where there is this great hatred from the coup plotters towards the Supreme Court, exactly because it was the Supreme Court that put the coup plotters, especially the leader Bolsonaro, in jail. Do you understand? So they want to attack the Supreme Court, right? And by shaking up the Supreme Court, it becomes easier for them to stage a coup. Obviously, that's what they're trying to do, and that's what they're organizing, okay? It's interesting that Cayado is trying to pick Gilberto Kassab as his running mate. That's going to be a terrible blow to Flávio Bolsonaro. Will it, Andrea Gonçalves? Yes, it will. Because, as I told you, Cayado doesn't take votes away from Lula. Cayado takes votes away from Flávio Bolsonaro. And if Gilberto Kassab is Cayado's running mate, it will be easier because Gilberto Kassab is the president of the PSD. And the PSD was the big winner in the 2024 elections. The PSD won most of the mayoral offices. So it has a very substantial base. And what is that going to split? The right-wing votes, which I repeat takes votes from Flávio Bolsonaro, not from Lula. If they manage to do that, it will be kind of a checkmate for Flávio Bolsonaro. And that will be positive for us progressives. For Lula, yes, it doesn't take votes from Lula, but from Flávio. Did you get it? So let's wait and see. But there's already talk about Gilberto Kassab possibly being Ronaldo Cayado's running mate. Let's see how this whole situation turns out. All right. I'm asking you to like the live stream because that's very important. Leave your comments. I always read your comments. In fact, in many situations, I respond to your comments during the live streams. And look here, look at Robson's comment here. Many videos that I've liked, when they show up again, they're not liked anymore. Look at Robson's comment. This is happening on all the left-wing channels I follow. Yeah, that's really unfortunate, right? You like something, then when you go back, it doesn't show that you liked it. It's that old story, right, guys? Our struggle here is tough, isn't it? What can really help in our case is you engaging twice. Because your engagement can counteract an algorithm that doesn't really like the progressive side. Got it? Did you get the hint? That's right. So that's why it's really important when you like, comment, and share. Okay? And join the group, join the WhatsApp group so I can share the links with you, the little videos, the clips, which are really important. Thank you.